This video and others like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. Please show your support with a like and subscribe, and be sure to hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss any new videos. If you want to get involved with the channel, consider becoming a channel member. There are many benefits to channel membership, including access to our Discord, exclusive deck tech and strategy videos, and the opportunity to help create channel content. I want to sincerely thank all our channel members, as I truly couldn't do this without your support. You guys rock. Go Commando.
All right, this is SwagDean. Again, it is Destiny Friday. This is part of the History of Jank series that we've had going here, and today we have a special guest. This is my friend George, and we've played Destiny together quite a lot. Also, behind the scenes, he has helped me with a lot of the testing for Smash and things like that, so he's been an unheralded part of some of the Destiny jank that exists in the world. But this is his craziest deck, which I have seen go off in person, and they took it to large events, and I felt like I needed to be a part of this series. So, George, run us through this janky deck.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it here. Nice to come back and revisit some of the fun here. So this deck came about somewhere around the Across the Galaxies convergence era of the game, back when we were seeing a lot of big vehicle decks, specifically Shadowcaster stuff and things like that. And I absolutely love playing vehicles, and so I was trying to come up with a way to reliably be able to get all of these large, high-costed vehicles out early in game. I also am a fan of seeing if we can bring underutilized characters into the meta here, and so while Yoda was in probably at least half the decks back then, Lobot and Jar Jar were definitely not utilized. Lobot not typically utilized outside of draft, and Jar Jar not utilized outside of Gungans, or just to goof around here. And so kind of looking to be able to build out these big vehicle decks, and then looking between these three leaders here, it was me trying to really build a synergy around the special side of any one of these dice cards here, specifically surrounding Yoda. Obviously, Yoda's ability to manipulate dice, gain a resource, or shield up a character, always useful here. Having Moxie on Yoda, being able to duplicate that same ability, and to utilize that again and chain those specials even further here. And then moving over then to Lobot here. I think Lobot's special side here was kind of a slept on sort of feature of him. Now at 10-13, he was not your best character, especially at only 9 health and with just a single damage side there. But that special of resolving one of your dice, increasing its value by 2, can come in real handy when you can add that to a resource. So Jar Jar partially came in as a single die here just because he has the resource available to utilize. And so the base concept is that I'd roll out each of these characters and hopefully land on a Yoda special, and be able to then chain those specials, turning Jar Jar's die side to the resource side, getting Lobot's special off there. And so in doing that, being able to pull 3 resources out of Jar Jar's die on turn 1 there. So back in this time, Beckett Iden was huge in destroying worlds there, as it were. And I remember sitting down with our friend Paul and playing this against him, and he did all of his Iden Beckett tricks and did handful of damage to me on the first turn, and then I started my tricks and was able to pull down 6 resources in at the end of turn 1 and drop a Falcon with an escape craft there and bring that in. So the deck could ramp quite quickly with it. And the other big piece that we utilized here was the N1 Starfighter. Being able to ready a vehicle was huge, because then on subsequent turns I could take that Falcon and I could roll in that Falcon, resolve it, and then using Yoda's ability, focus to the N1 Starfighter special there and re-ready that vehicle. So it was also nice to utilize some other support, specifically the Star Viper. That special, being able to deal 3 damage to a character or discard a vehicle of 3 or less, was a significant one. Very helpful in terms of maybe removing other ships from of my opponent's play there. So, and then what's a vehicle deck in this era without triple laser turret? Getting that on the Falcon, or even there were times I put it on the N1 just so I wouldn't lose the ability to get to that special here. Keeping that die out on the field was a significant benefit there. So. From that, I think the only other cards that we haven't really discussed here is the ETA 2 Interceptor, which I know is not an often used card in here. However, I do remember using it for specifically that action to remove a shield die to exhaust a support, because other people were playing vehicles too, and if you had somebody rocking a Shadowcaster and getting those combos off, being able to just pull back one of Yoda's shield die or force jump, that was part of why that was in the deck as well, having the 2 shield sides there, as well as Lobot and Jar Jar having them here. So I was never really at a loss for shield sides to use that play on, and to be able to kind of exhaust some vehicles and keep myself resetting vehicles with the N1.
This is the only deck I've ever seen that ran the ETA, and yeah, you have a bunch of shields, and they're very unassuming dice until they exhaust a big support or something, which is a lot of fun.
Absolutely. So,
and then Lobot's ability, being a guardian with the battlefield, like you'd think a support deck that's 3 wide, but because of the battlefield, and whenever you play a vehicle, you get control of the battlefield. So then suddenly his guardian's back on. You have Jar Jar's soft mitigation and force jumps. Mm-hmm. Like you did have some defensive tricks.
Yep.
While you got real big.
Yeah, and with landing dock too, that power action of re-roll a die. We've all played enough Destiny to know that you can re-roll and not get not hit what you need. So as many options as you have to potentially re-roll without draining your hand. If you get into a situation where you don't have, you're not landing on any focus, or you're not getting Yoda special to make those moves, the extra reroll is good, as well as just mitigation, to reroll something from the opponent. So.
Love it. And then this being a rainbow deck, obviously, like, we showed the dice cards here, but this would have been, the rainbow package of the best hero mitigation available, on top of all these supports. And I'm pretty sure you ran tech team, things like that, to get all your supports out cheaper as well.
Yep. Yeah. A tech team from an economy standpoint, and then in terms of mitigation, of course, easy pickings, hidden motive. I did some healing with men. Had crash landing to remove some damage there. Bubble shield just to absorb the indirect damage, which was definitely a big consideration. I think this was around the time Afro was really hot as well, and so really the goal was to kind of protect as much as possible as we went through, and to be able to heal as we go, and to just consistently be able to remove their dice as the game progressed.
Yeah. Now, normally you look at a deck like this and you would think this is for weeklies, but no, we went to PAX Unplugged together. I took Iden Beckett. The hero droids and Shadowcasters were the hot decks, and Raylo were all the hot decks at that time, and you brought this to PAX Unplugged, so yeah, talk about that.
Yeah, I I know I didn't make any sort of cut with it, but I think I went 2-3 or 3-2. I know it went better than I remember it or I expected it to go. I think that there was an element of surprise when you lay this out in front of somebody and they don't know what is going to happen with it, and exactly what to expect with it. So, I do remember going up against, I believe it was Vader around at that point. Yeah,
Yeah,
the big
Vader.
Vader.
He was
Yeah,
less popular at the time because of the
yeah,
removal packages being a little bit better. But
yeah,
yes, he was still around.
yeah. So I do remember getting Fear and Deadmend and just getting annihilated here early on in a match with it. But for others, I was able to hang and pulled off a couple surprise victories there. The like you said, Dean, the Guardian with Lobot combined with the battlefield, winning the roll off was huge, and being able to choose my own battlefield. Other battlefields are nowhere near as useful to me as this one. However, this battlefield is useless to almost every other deck that was out there. So if I didn't win the roll off, then I didn't get my battlefield, and it was definitely more of a challenge.
And this is a tough one to win the roll off. You have a lot of zero sides with the specials.
Exactly.
And Jar Jar's not helping you. Lobot's not really helping you. You really just have the 2 focus side on Yoda to win roll offs. So I imagine that would be a challenge for consistency's sake.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And since all of my dice anyway are just designed to land red side up, it even made it worse. So
that's the way it goes, especially with janky decks. But you were brave with this one. I always respected this deck was lunacy, but when it went off and you got 6 to 8 resources in a round, it felt very evil. And Jar Jar gets very annoying. I remember seeing people try to spike him because like that soft mitigation, just having to reroll all their dice, does get annoying. And a lot of people didn't play him, but he was frustrating sometimes.
he was, and that was the best way to beat me, was to take out Jar Jar, because if you look at the Yoda doesn't have a natural resource side. He gains the resource off the special, and so Jar Jar early game, that single resource side is what I need to get Lobot his special online and pulling those 3 resources down. Now eventually, if I get a Falcon down or something, I have a 3 resource side, and then turning that into a 5 is huge and all that. But if somebody spiked Jar Jar early game, it made for a significantly uphill battle for me, because I was then pretty much just functioning like any other deck. Just with Yoda, just trying to gain that extra resource off the special.
It also turns off easy pickings and
for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. The spot yellow on that one there.
Yeah. So if they had to play this deck multiple times, I think they'd know that. But the first time, you're like, I can ignore Jar Jar. He's not a big deal. Yoda's the only 2 dice character. It's got to kill Yoda. And then sometimes that was more of an uphill battle than you were ready for.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Because it did get to a point where I had plenty of resources, and so, I was using his special to manipulate a die and then give Yoda shields. And then with Mend, being able to heal off of him there, and then of course Guardian with Lobot. So it, if you tried to muscle down Yoda, you needed to be something big to take me down early there. And eventually, if I got to the point where I had an N1, a Falcon, and maybe one of these other vehicles out there, I would be able to I'd be able to keep the game moving even without Yoda there, because the supports were doing the heavy lifting from then on.
All right. Well, thanks for coming in, sharing some of your own history of Jank. I don't remember if we look through your library, if we want to have anything else that you've had showcased here, but remind everybody out there to like and subscribe. Give me some comments. Is this series something you enjoy? Should I make some more of these? I mean, I have a couple more probably, but I am getting towards the bottom of at least the Jank that I remember and saved. So make sure to let us know. George, thanks to you for joining us here for Destiny Friday. And as always, say it with me. Go Commando, baby.
Go Commando, baby. Love it. Thank you for having me on. Appreciate it. Happy to be a part of this one.